Hello guys, I'm back again. Your girl and my Lordsfame is back again. Okay, today we are going into the 5th episode of Diane's Fantasy. So I'll just start straight away because of time. I don't like spending too much time. I know you have a lot of things to do. So Diane's Fantasy, episode 5. Diane looked down from the mirror to the necklace and pendant hanging between her cleavage, and her tears trickled down. Rick saw it and turned her to himself immediately. "What, baby? You don't like it?" he asked worriedly, searching through her eyes. She looked into his eyes with her teary eyes, laughing. "I love it, thank you, I love you." Rick was moved to tears. He hugged her tight and, "I love you more," he said. They looked into each other's eyes. "Now, I'm proud to call myself a man. Your man. I want to grow old with you, Diane. I love you and will always do." Diane smiled and nodded. They started to kiss. Minutes later, they were naked in bed, kissing passionately with their eyes closed, holding each other tight in each other's arms. He was on her. He lifted himself and looked into her eyes with passion as she did same. He looked down at her breasts. Her nipples were hard, strong, and he planted his lips on one and stroked the other. After a long suck of ecstasy and exchange between the nipples, Diane could feel his prickle hard against her thigh. Then he kissed her again, but this time with deep passion and chill mouth. His hand holding her ear softly, and the other holding her waist. She felt it and she loved it, and it seemed their soul went into unison. She transcended into another realm as she could feel his hold on her waist and his soft fingers in her hair. To her, it was a feeling like no other. Rick's hold on her in those places took her to a magic land, and as if Rick knew, he always held her in those places and he was good at it. How he knew, no one knows. She never mentioned it to him or anyone. Maybe he always felt the change in her body movement when he held her there. But Diane was grateful he knew her love spot, and with passionate kiss, Diane held on his back so hard, wanting all of him inside her. She hoped he would just go in and take all of her, even if the pact was otherwise. As they both romanced hard, wanting each other so bad, Rick stopped suddenly, breathing hard, and looked into Diane's eyes. She blinked so softly and with passion. It was all over her. She wanted him that moment, and she was still holding on tight to his back. After a long stare in their eyes, with both breathing heavily of warmth and now calming, he lifted himself and rolled over away from her tight hold to her side. Diane closed her eyes in awe and then opened. Seconds later, Rick jumped out of bed and went into the bathroom. Diane listened in silence and traced her new necklace as Rick moaned and moaned and moaned. She held her pendant and closed her eyes as he screamed with ecstasy. She might have had everything in her life, but she never had sex. Diane was still a virgin. Chapter 6. Diane and Rick decided to take this day out of their busy schedule. It was a special day to them, and they would never spend it holed up within the four corners of their house or at the workplace. They entered the Stop and Fork Eatery. The restaurant was beautifully decorated, and by the look of it, we would say it was made specially that day for people in love. Or maybe that particular day was Love's Day. Each table has a girl and a boy looking passionately into each other's eyes, and a slow love song played in the background. It was Valentine's Day. Diane was having ice cream, while Rick had juice. They were playing and laughing at their table, both lost in each other's realm. Vanessa, a very slim, sexy, hot lady, and perfectly heighted, 6 feet tall actually, walked into the restaurant and went straight to the counter to make an order. Rick looked at Diane taking the ice cream. You know you shouldn't be taking that. Why? Because you grow fatter and fatter. Diane swallowed the ice cream in her mouth. I thought you said my stature doesn't matter to you. You still love me. Yeah, but that doesn't give you the go-ahead. Get fatter. It dropped nonchalantly. Diane found that funny and laughed. Before you know, you will start to talk like woo 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 woo. He imitated an old woman with too much fat in her cheeks. Diane burst into laughter and Rick joined. Their laughter caught Vanessa's attention. She looked at the direction and raised an eyebrow and squinted at Rick. Rick saw an ice cream stain on Diane's upper lip and leaned over the table to kiss it away. Meanwhile, Diane wasn't sure of what he was doing, but welcomed him anyways. She closed her eyes as his lips got closer to hers, and Rick kissed the ice cream away. Diane opened her eyes and looked into his eyes. You are not scared, you know, she said in the lowest baking voice possible. At that moment, Vanessa was standing behind Rick, but they were too engrossed in their lovey-dovey to notice her. Scared of who? You or them? Rick gestured to the crowd. You know I can kiss you anywhere I want, and I can even kiss you here, from now till morning. Vanessa smiled watching them. Diane dared them, nodding up at him. Their faces were wreathed apart. Rick nodded. Then they slowly moved his lips closer to kiss us. Diane was about to close her eyes to welcome the kiss when she noticed a presence. She rolled her eyes up and widened her eyes, seeing a lady standing behind Rick. She muffled Rick's name in between the kiss. Rick stopped kissing and looked at her. I told you I would do this till dawn. He moved to kiss her again. Rick, Diane whispered. Yes, my love. He was closing up to her lips. Rick, he shot in a whisper, trying to alert him. Rick stopped and looked at her. She gestured with her eyes at him to look back, but he looked at her in confusion and then she gestured again. Rick raised his brows and looked at his askance. Then he rose slowly and took his seat. He adjusted himself and looked up. And to his utmost shock, the lady was standing and watching. Rick frowned at Diane and nodded up at her, but Diane shook her head and gestured back at him to ask her. Vanessa laughed silently, watching their childish acts. Then Rick cleared his throat in a bid to talk and looked at Vanessa, who stopped laughing immediately. He saw that and stopped, furrowing at her. He cleared his throat again and gapped his lips to talk, but Vanessa did the trouble for him. Vanessa smiled at him. Rick closed his mouth abruptly and took a few seconds. Hey, sorry, do I? He looked at Diane and back at Vanessa. We know you? Rick questioned. Vanessa couldn't take it anymore. She finally burst into laughter. But Vanessa tried to control herself, but to no avail. She laughed hard and enjoyed it. Then she tried suppressing her laughter by placing her left palm close to her mouth and waving the other hand at them. Sorry, Vanessa said. I missed the laughter, and then she finally could control herself. Oh God, you guys are funny. She breathed heavily, catching her breath. And I love that, I do. She turned to Rick. Dear, is there any way you could be mine? Because I would really love to be cherished that way. Rick looked at Diane sharply. Diane's eyes were becoming tiny, blinking every second, staring back at Rick. Rick saw that and turned red instantly. Then he turned to Vanessa. Who the hell are you? Vanessa smiled. Come on, Stone. Rick paused at that and stared at Vanessa in confusion. If anyone could call him that, then Diane frowned at Vanessa, hearing that. Yes, Stone. Vanessa stressed, staring at Rick. Wait, he tried to recall, scrutinizing Vanessa from head to toe and then focusing on his face. Diane watched them in confusion. Vanessa! Rick jumped out of his seat, bewildered. No, it's not you. Yeah, it's me. She laughed. Oh, I can't. God, wow. Rick was too happy and surprised to put a sentence together. He looked at Diane. Diane, he laughed. Oh, I can't believe this. When he realized he was too shocked to grab words successfully, he snatched Vanessa into his arms and hugged her tight and happily. Diane raised her brows at that. Rick released Vanessa and checked her out. I can't believe this is you. Where have you been? Wow, you're tall. I was on that path. She laughed. She was obviously taller than Rick. The difference was very clear. Oh yeah? And you look good too. And seeing Rick stood akimbo and admiring her. Yeah, I've been working out real good, Vanessa said. Oh, I can see that. Where have you been? I've been out of the country. I just came back some days ago. She admired Rick, looking down at him. Even if Rick was a short man, his dark skin was so smooth, and his handsome baby face and sexy tiny eyes made ladies ignore his short height and took on his beauty. You're not looking bad yourself, and you look taller. I was so surprised when I saw you, John. She winked and laughed. Diane held the ice cream spoon in her mouth like a baby, suspiciously watching life. Rick tapped Vanessa's arm. Oh, don't stop, I know I'm short. He laughed and looked at Diane, who removed the spoon from her mouth immediately. My love, meet Vanessa, an old friend from my childhood. She used to be short. I was actually a bit taller than her, but see her now? She took over. That's not true, Vanessa said, laughing. Diane held the spoon to her ice cream cup and smiled wryly. He never mentioned that. Rick knew where that was coming from. He inhaled and exhaled and then continued. Van, this is Diane. Vanessa completed a sentence with smiles, doing the trouble for him again while looking at Diane. Rick continued. My love, looking passionately at Diane. He went to her and held her shoulder. The light in my world. So bright I can see. Hi Diane, you look good, Vanessa admired. Thanks, you look good too. Diane smiled back at her. Vanessa winked at Rick. I've always known you for your eyes. You have eyes for good things. Rick blushed. So, what are you doing here? Oh, sorry, my manners. He pulled his seat for her. Please join us. Oh no, don't let me disturb you guys. You are really catching your fun. Don't let me ruin it. You did already, Rick dropped without thinking. Diane and Vanessa looked at him with a raised brow. He saw that and laughed nervously, then turned to Vanessa. Just kidding. Oh, you haven't changed. You still take to heart. And you haven't changed too. Still so blunt, Vanessa returned. So sit, he ordered. You can have somewhere to get to. But that's somewhere. We don't mind spending you some minutes. Come on, it's been a long time, he said pleadingly. Vanessa smiled at him. You don't give up, do you? Rick shook his head. She sighed and said under her breath, can't wait to change. Diane rolled her eyeballs. She was tired of all their familiar words. Can't, she muttered slightly, swinging her head sideways mockingly, and then she sighed softly. Vanessa sat in front of Diane, in Rick's seat. She smiled at Diane, and Diane smiled back at her. Let me get you something. What would you care for? Rick was thoughtful. Do you still love burger? More than ever, Vanessa smiled at him. Diane turned green slowly, watching them. Great, I'll get you a whole lot, he rushed away. Vanessa tried stopping him in a high-pitched voice, holding her hand out. No, just... Rick suddenly ran back, making Vanessa withdraw her pitch and her hand abruptly. 1 or 2. Rick kissed Diane, I love you, and then he rushed away. The kiss made sure Diane was reminded that Rick was ours and ours alone. Diane relaxed, and she was happy. The guys were smiling, watching Rick rush away. I spoiled him with that. Diane flushed and continued her ice cream. She looked at Vanessa and saw she was smiling and still looking at Rick, but before she could think of anything, Vanessa interrupted. Stone man, Vanessa felt aloud, and looked at Diane. Do you know why we call him that? Stone man? Diane shook her head. No. When we were young, there was nothing he wouldn't throw stone at. So long as that thing would feel the stone when it touched it. Oh, yeah. I remember the day he wanted to open the door to their house. He pushed it just once and it wouldn't open. And the next thing he did was picked stones and started throwing at the door. When he was asked, he said, the dog wasn't afraid of me and I knew it would be afraid of the stones and open. She mimicked. Just like every other thing he threw stone at fled. Vanessa laughed. What? Diane widened her eyes. He knew? She laughed. That's ridiculous. I know the amazing part. No, tell me. The dog was actually afraid of the stones. It opened? No, don't say. They burst into laughter. Yeah, I say, Vanessa said, laughing. Rick walked to them with a waiter walking behind him carrying a tray of snacks and strawberry juice. Why are you guys still laughing? Rick asked and ordered the waiter to put the tray down and leave. Diane coughed as she laughed. Careful, darling, Rick said. Then he looked at Vanessa. They don't have burgers, so I bought your pie. I hope that's okay. Oh yeah, thanks. Vanessa nodded. Rick put a plate of pies and sausages and chicken with juice in front of Vanessa and 2 chickens for himself and Diane. I got us chicken, my love. I figured we still have juice here. He looked at Diane, who was still laughing, and turned to Vanessa. Why is she laughing this much? Vanessa shrugged and chuckled. Rick took a seat beside Diane. Vanessa was telling me about your encounter with stones and how the dog was afraid of them. Diane said amidst laughter. Rick looked at Vanessa. You've said it all, haven't you? What? But I didn't lie? Vanessa chuckled. Diane looked at Vanessa. You know, sweetheart, he actually has a nickname like that now. Stone Roller. She laughed again. Well, you don't mean it. How did? Vanessa giggled and looked at Rick. How did you come about that? That actually sounds good. Really? Rick looked at Vanessa and shook his head with a smile on his face. Vanessa ate her chicken. I guess it's destined with the stone. Diane cackled. What? Rick couldn't believe she just said that. Just thinking aloud, Diane shrugged at him. Vanessa laughed at them. Girls, enough about me. Van, tell us about you. How have you been? He ate on. But yours is more interesting, Vanessa protested. Rick and Diane gazed at her, and she knew they were not going to take no for an answer. She smiled and twisted her head. Okay. It's been fair with me. You know, when my dad got a transfer then, she raised a brow at Rick and nodded. We went straight to Gauteng. From there we traveled to France. I came in some days back for some stuff. I miss this country and people, you know. She smiled at Rick. We still talk about you over there. We miss you too. Mother will be so happy to see you, he smiled. Diane watched them with a smile as she ate her chicken. Oh, Mother, how is she? Vanessa asked. She's good, Diane and Rick chorused. Oh, okay. Vanessa nodded slowly, saying that. I can't wait to see her. And Father, she said. Diane followed at her, you know, and Rick looked at her. She saw that and was confused. What, did I say something wrong? is dead, Rick said. What? Father is dead? Vanessa was shocked. When? How? Rick looked dull. Yes, he died few months after you left, he said regretfully. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, she said sadly. I can't believe this, she shook her head, thoughtful. Oh, it's okay, it's been years, so I'm good and over it. Rick smiled at her, and she smiled back faintly. So, how's your man? You didn't come with him? Rick asked. You should be married now. Diane looked at him with her brow raised slightly. It was obvious she was thinking, how could he ask that when she, his girlfriend, is not married? But he didn't see her. Vanessa smiled at her questions and flashed her fingers at him. There was no wedding ring. If there was any ring on her finger, it was for fashion. Oh, he said. But then you should be in a relationship, right? And my relationship, Vanessa smiled. Well, I've never been out of relationship. I'm still dating the same person I was dating before I left. And I actually came back for him. Vanessa smiled at Rick. Rick's heart skipped a bit. He blinked at Vanessa restlessly. Rick laughed nervously. That's funny. Diane was bewildered at Vanessa. No, baby, it's not. Diane corrected him and turned to Vanessa. Oh, you mean you've been in the same relationship since you left this country? Diane questioned amazingly. No, before I left, Vanessa corrected, wondering where she was going with that. Yes, I know. That's amazing. And that should be how many years now? Rick chuckled nervously. Come on, honey, that's not long. Just 12 years. We have been together for 10 years, Rick said to Diane. No, I left the country 12 years back. And the relationship was already 16 years then, so 28 years. Vanessa corrected again. Rick was silent. His eyes grew soft, and he blinked at Vanessa. Oh, 28 solid years? That's awesome! Diane was overwhelmed. Wait, 28? She questioned. Rick and Vanessa turned to her in fear. If it's 28, when did you start dating Annie? It's not like you're 50. Vanessa smiled. From day one. Our parents were actually close. Oh, awesome! That's awesome! She found the whole thing astonishing. She was suddenly calm. She looked at her food. I wish I met my Rick in the one too. Rick looked at Diane in silence. Diane looked at Vanessa and smiled. You think he's still faithful to you? Or do you see or hear from each other often? You know how men can be. Rick looked at Vanessa. Vanessa smiled softly and abased her eyes at the question. Then she looked up at Rick. Well, we just have to see. Rick and Vanessa gazed at each other. Then Diane said, What, you mean you haven't seen him? I have, but it's complicated, Vanessa said, staring at Rick. Then she looked at Diane. Actually, when I left, he actually thought I left him, but she was short of words. Oh, I see, so complicated. You left ultimately. Diane shook her head slowly. That's separation. The situation isn't good for you at all. She was thoughtful, as if thinking of a solution. Rick looked at the girls and started eating absent-mindedly while he talked. He might actually have realized from someone in your house that it wasn't your fault. Maybe he forgave you a long time ago. Diane and Vanessa suddenly turned to Rick. Rick noticed the women talking and looked up to see them looking at him. He raised his brows in fear with his mouth full of chicken, realizing what he just said, and was about to talk when Diane spoke. He's right, actually. He might actually have learned the truth from someone. Rick was relieved. He nodded, and with his mouth full, he spoke. Yo. Vanessa smiled and abased her eyes from him. And you still love him? Diane asked her.
Vanessa giggled to escape Diane's question.
Diane continued, I think you should just explain to him that if he's not moved on already, and I'm sure he will understand. She looked at Rick. Oh, what do you think, my love? Rick was startled. I don't think so. You already said it. How guys can be. He's stressed. I'm sure he moved on already,
And our presence might just be a problem.
for the relationship he's in now.
He nodded, weighing how his words sounded in his mind.
And with satisfaction, he said, yeah. Then I thought, you're right again. But if her presence will cause a problem for him, that means he still loves her, don't you think? She paused looking at Rick and then looks away. Well, I just pity the girl she's dating now, because if he is still in love with her, then she's going to be on the losing end. Love from the womb isn't a joke. She shrugged. Vanessa watched her talking. Rick frowned at Diane. He was angry.
You don't think he would love the girl he's dating now to be in a relationship with her? Why would you think that? He took it personal and Diane didn't even realize.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying love differs. There's true love and there's love. We just miss them for each other and that's a mistake. So if he had true love for Van, like the one we have for each other, and just love for the girl, it's sure true love will prevail. That's what I'm saying. She paused. There is hope for Van. Diane tucked a piece of chicken in her mouth and chewed. Vanessa smiled. He could be married, you know, Rick pointed out. Oh, yes, he struck Diane. There's that too. Then, she looked at Vanessa. She would have to back out. Vanessa inhaled heavily. He's not married. Well, at least I hope not. She gazed at Rick's ring finger. I didn't see any wedding band on him when I saw him. Rick flinched on his chair. He folded his hand and snatched it away from the table in an instant. His saliva went dry instantly and something missed the line in his throat. And he coughed. Sorry, baby, Diane said. Thanks, my love. Rick stressed on that, staring at Vanessa. No wedding band, Diane asked Vanessa. That's great then. Some men choose not to wear it though. Exactly, Rick jumped in. But that's a 50% hope. Diane continued, and then she was thoughtful. But my love, if you guys are childhood friends, you should know the guy, right? Rick's heart skipped. What? And so, thank you. This is the end of today's episode. Join me next week for the next episode of Diane's Fantasy. And I hope you enjoyed it. And once again, don't forget to subscribe and give thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. See you guys. Nice time. Ciao.